Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our next miniseries, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Today's film is Catch Me If You Can, 2002, directed by Steven Spielberg, with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, and Christopher Walken. The screenplay is by Jeff Nathanson, music by John Williams, cinematography by Janusz Kaminski, and editing by Michael Kahn. The movie is based on a true story as related in Frank Abagnale Jr.'s 1980 book of the same name. Abagnale describes how he perpetrated several costly cons, impersonating a Pan American Airways pilot, a doctor, and a local prosecutor, all by the time he was caught at the age of 19. His principal crime was check fraud. He was so good at it that he became an FDI consultant, helping the feds catch other forgers. In 1997, Spielberg bought the film rights and developed plans for a screenplay, cast, and crew. Filming took place for 52 days in spring 2002, covering more than 140 different locations. The movie was released in December 2002 to critical and commercial success. It had its premiere at the Old Bruin Theater in Westwood Village, Los Angeles. Catch Me If You Can earned over $350 million on a budget of only $52 million. Roger Ebert praised it as an effortlessly watchable film and lauded DiCaprio's performance as breezy and entertaining. Christopher Walken won the BAFTA for Best Supporting Actor, and John Williams received an Oscar nomination for his score. Frank Abagnale had a small cameo, appearing as a French policeman making an arrest near the film's end. The movie was shot at many sites, including Burbank and Downey, California, Los Angeles, Ontario International Airport, which stood in for Miami International, Quebec City, and Montreal, used to portray Abagnale's mother's hometown of Montrichard in France. In New York City, there are scenes on Park Avenue outside the Waldorf Hotel, banking and courthouse scenes in Brooklyn, and the TWA flight terminal at JFK Airport. The Place Royale in Old Quebec City stood in for Montrichard, with its church of Notre-Dame des Victoires visible in the background of the arrest scene. Spielberg applied to the University of Southern California Film School, only to be rejected because of his mediocre grades. So he enrolled in Cal State University at Long Beach, completing 2 years before dropping out without his degree to work in the film industry. He got a start directing minor films and TV pieces, making his breakout film Jaws in 1975. Spielberg is now considered one of the most commercially successful filmmakers in film history. He has directed 37 films, produced over 140 films, and written many more, and has won 2 Oscars for Best Director, a Kennedy Center honor, and a Cecil B. DeMille Award. 7 of his films are in the National Film Registry. In 2002, he returned to Cal State briefly to complete his degree, submitting Schindler's List in lieu of a required 12-minute senior film project. In the spring of 2002, he marched with his class at commencement to receive his BA. Spielberg has many different trademarks. He often deals with broken homes, divorce, and its effect on children. His own parents divorced when Spielberg was a teenager. Abagnale is a child of divorce in this film, and his FBI nemesis Henratty is divorced with a child who lives with his ex-wife. But Spielberg does show sympathy for both father and son. Another theme he explores is that of a flawed, irresponsible father figure, i.e. Frank Abagnale Jr., Sr. He also frequently collaborates with John Williams, Janusz Kaminski, and Michael Kahn, all of whom worked on this movie. He admires the James Bond movies, particularly Goldfinger. The distinctive stamp animation titles at the beginning of the film point to that connection. Also frequently uses mirror shots and flashlights to heighten the visual mystery of a scene. There's a mirror shot with Henriette and Brenda in her bedroom at the engagement party, and flashlights are used to illuminate Abagnale's face in the prison scene. Spielberg also likes to use extremely high and low camera angles, long takes, and handheld cameras. He's known for the frequent use of product placement in his films. You may see prominently placed foodstuffs, beverages, vehicles, clothing, all kinds of things, well identified by brand name. Plot summary. Frank Abagnale Sr. runs a small shop to make a living, but is loose with his funds, attracting the feds. Frank Jr. is a bright, personable teenager, aware of his father's financial difficulties and his parents' weak marriage. He's thoroughly miserable. While the father struggles with the law and the mother flirts with men outside the marriage, the boy continually observes them, trying to figure out what he can do to fix things. Eventually, he leaves home, embarking on a life of crime, impersonating a Pan Am pilot, jetting around the world in Pan Am planes, romancing stewardesses, and falsifying and cashing Pan Am checks. For good measure, he throws in successful impersonations of an Atlanta doctor and a Louisiana prosecutor. He occasionally returns home, still seeking love and approval from his parents, who are now divorced. All of this before he turns 19. Fun facts about the film. There are 3 cameos in this film. A young Jennifer Garner appears in an early scene as a call girl, Cheryl Pompeo. Abagnale himself appears as a silver-haired French policeman making an arrest. And Spielberg's son Max, then age 7, is seen sitting behind Henriette and Abagnale on the plane returning from Paris. Henriette is a composite of several agents because the real FBI agent, Joseph Shea, was still active and didn't want his name used. The clip from To Tell the Truth was taken from a show in which Abagnale really appeared. None of the panelists were able to identify him. Henriette's blackboard toward the end of the film has a little note on it which says, Stephen and Tom's 4th project. They were actually collaborating on their 4th film. All roads and pavements are shown wet, even though the action may take place in sunny weather. DiCaprio is known for his very youthful appearance, but he was actually 27 when he played Abagnale as a boy in his late teens. The bust in the Place Royale, which stands in for Montmartre, is Louis XIV. The signatures shown on the Harvard Medical and Dental School diplomas are those of the then deans of Harvard Medical and Dental Schools. The Aston Martin DB5 was supplied by Autosport Designs of Huntington Station, New York. This is a shout-out to James Bond's car in the Bond flicks. Scenes in the French classroom and library were shot in Pasadena's McKinley High School during spring break. Mrs. Abagnale's house after her remarriage was used in both Father of the Bride movies in 1991 and 1995. When Abagnale gets his suit tailored like James Bond suits, he signs himself as Mr. Fleming. Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond books. When Abagnale meets Cheryl Pompeo, the song, The Look of Love, is playing in the background. This was the theme song written for Casino Royale, another Bond movie. Things to look for. The stamp animation titles, product placement such as cigarettes, beverages, foodstuffs, vehicles, clothing, accessories. Use of extreme low or high angle photo shots or handheld camera shots. Look for identifiable locations. Watch for reference to James Bond movies, songs, film clips, vehicles, clothing. Wet pavements filmed at night. Check out the med school diploma and the note on Henriette's blackboard. Can you spot the 3 cameos? It's time now to play our film. Sit back, relax, and Catch Me If You Can will run shortly. Please remember there may be a short delay before the film rolls. Enjoy.